This GMT Family First Community segment is sponsored by ABC Home and Commercial Services.
Okay, it's GMT Wedding Week. When you have a backyard wedding, the last thing you want is to see flying around your guests are mosquitoes. So ABC Home and Commercial Services says the pest's ability to transmit diseases makes them as deadly. Unfortunately, here in Texas, the warm and wet climate creates the perfect environment for them to thrive. So the good news, Dennis Jenkins and Russell Jenkins with ABC Home and Commercial Services are here to share what you can do to protect your home and your family. Hello to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, it's certainly no mystery, Dennis, with both of you being the Jenkins. This is a family-owned and operated business that you have. And
Most
so
certainly.
When it comes to wedding week, I'm going to pick on you a little bit, Dennis, because we have a wedding picture of you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Tell me what year that was for you.
That was 1983.
Oh, gosh, it's so precious. All right, so do you have any advice for newlyweds?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest one piece of advice is really simple. Never consider anything else.
Huh.
And when you settle into that, it gets sweeter and sweeter through the years.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
What a wonderful words of advice. I appreciate that a lot. All right, so let's talk about the increase in mosquito populations that we're seeing during these wet months. Why is that?
Well, I mean, mosquitoes breed and they lay their eggs and they do all of their larval formation, all that in water. So they need some standing water. So in the dry of summer, they're not really breeding as much. But when it's wet in the spring, that's when they are really on the populations are just increasing.
All right, so Russell, I want to talk to you about something pretty serious when it comes to the disease that are transmitted by these little stinging pests. Tell us more.
So they have West Nile is obviously one of the ones that we got to be very concerned about. But one of the interesting facts about mosquitoes is, did you know that they're actually the most deadly animal in the entire world?
That is
because of the fact that they actually transmit diseases, and they cause a lot of issues for a lot of different mammals and animals throughout the entire world.
That's interesting to make note of that they are indeed very, very deadly. Well, let's talk a little bit about ways that we can reduce the number of mosquitoes in our homes and in the environment around our homes and even on ourselves.
Biggest thing is to look around your yard and look for standing water. That's what they're going to breed in, and they can breed in something as small as a bottle cap, right? So you have some discarded bottle caps out back, and they get a little bit of water in there. They can lay eggs in there, and they can develop in there and go through their life stage up to the adult, up to the pupa stage, which then they come out as an adult.
So the standing water is really, no matter how big or small, it really can be a breeding ground.
Correct.
All right, so then Russell, let's talk about what ABC Commercial Services, how can they help us eliminate or lessen the impact of mosquitoes on our homes and in our yards?
Of course. Keeping in the spirit of the wedding week for you guys, we actually have a twofold approach. One of them is a spray that we can do on the undercoating of the leaves, and that's going to help reduce the population that you're seeing at the time. So like for a wedding venue or a party, that's one of the things that's very popular of choice, to be able to actually control the population before that event occurs. The other one is we use the Into Care system, as you can see on the screen right now, and that's going to be where we actually have a fungus that's in the water that'll attach to the mosquitoes, and whenever they go to different water sources, it's going to be in that water source as well. Good news is it only targets the mosquitoes, but it'll actually control the populations where they won't be able to reproduce, the eggs won't be able to hatch, and we're controlling populations of mosquitoes, which will make it to where the overall pressure is reduced.
I really do appreciate the science behind all of this. So before we go, you have a message for everyone, so let's stop and take a look at it.
And remember, hey Dad, I got this. And remember, at ABC,
We're the only pets they allow in their home.
We can all say it in unison. And there was a time when you were one of those pests.
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
yes,
I do
ma'am.
appreciate you both joining us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So to learn more, you can go online at goanteater.com or by calling 469-549-7300.